Hey, it's Mark with an update for subscribers to my newsletter. Crypto is easy. If you are not subscribed, click the link in the description below, head on over, and if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel. I don't post a lot, but when I do, you'll be the first to get it. I wanted to, so I get a lot of emails now, and pretty much for a while, from people saying, is it different now? By which they mean Bitcoin it's been on a tear. It's been going just crazy. A lot of attention, a lot of commotion. We got alt season now. Cryptocurrency in general just popping off. And the question is, with institutions in the game and now some corporations too, is it different? Can we have that long parabolic move that we're in right now, that we've been in? Can we have that long parabolic move forever? And that's a really interesting question. I'm preparing an update for, I'll take a step back. They don't necessarily mean we're going to stay in parabola forever, but that we're not going to have these major corrections, right? It's going to be 20%, 30% for the rest of all time. And we'll see. The market's going to decide that. I'm not going to decide that. You're not going to decide that. Nobody on YouTube or Twitter or anywhere else is going to decide that. The thing is, if we continue the pace we're on, we're going to be at a $280,000 Bitcoin in May. And by July, it'll be $1 million Bitcoin. If we don't have anything more, if the 30% correction is the most we have, and we'll keep going like we have, we'll just pop up and then 30%, pop up 30%. You're looking at $280,000 Bitcoin sometime in May, $1 million Bitcoin sometime in July. So think about whether that's realistic, as far as whether it's different now because institutions are in. So I'm preparing an update for premium subscribers. By the time you watch this video, I may have already published this update. And when you look at the data, when you look at what people are actually doing with their Bitcoins, how Bitcoins are moving around, when you look at when you look at the size of wallets that are holding compared to the size of wallets that are accumulating, and compared to wallets that are getting rid of their Bitcoins, it's some really interesting data that is not different than it was before. When you look at the way the media is handling this, when you look at the way Twitter is handling this, when you look at the actions of people who are tweeting now, hey, I just took profits. YouTubers saying, hey, I took profits. That's the same as you saw at the end of 2017, probably what you saw at the end of 2013 too. I wasn't around. I don't have that kind of data, but we have the other data that I told you about in the way Bitcoins move. When you look at all the objective statistical measures, the data, the patterns, things that you can substantiate with evidence, there's nothing different yet. This idea that institutions, businesses, everybody's buying Bitcoin, I'll address that too in the update. It's a $1 trillion asset now. It's a $1 trillion asset. Grayscale has about 30-something billion dollars, which is about 3%. Is that right? 1 trillion. Yeah, it's about 3%. And then, there are other funds too that you total them all up. 1.5 billion for Tesla, that's 0.15%. And so when you total up all these investments that businesses and institutions have made, it may be substantial, but it's got to be a lot more than what they're telling you. There's got to be a lot more than what we know in public, and it very well could be. But how much more, right? If it's only somewhere short of $100 billion, maybe less than 10% of the market that's held as institutions, is that enough to make a difference? We'll see. We'll see how different it is this time. I would just be really, really careful about necessarily buying into the stories that you hear and the anecdotes and the things people are saying. Just be careful. And in the time, we'll see. Look, we'll see. We'll see how different it is. I'm going to be providing some information you'll get it. If you're a premium subscriber to Crypto's Easy, you'll get it. I'm providing some information that's going to be, it's really interesting. So we'll just have to see. When my long story short, people will say, hey, Mark, isn't it different this time? I don't see anything different. In fact, every time somebody says something's different, it's the same. Businesses getting in. You remember in 2017, IBM had Hyperledger, or whatever they called it. Maybe it wasn't Hyperledger. I can't remember. But they had a blockchain service. Kodak created their own cryptocurrency. Walmart created its own cryptocurrency. Amazon was rumored to be starting its own cryptocurrency. So, I mean, it's all the same. Everything's the same. Institutions in 2017, oh, and actually it wasn't an institution. 2017, it was Wall Street. Wall Street's coming. And all those things happened. Everything that people were saying, it all happened. But it happened after a blow off top market cycle peak. It happened after that. But maybe it is different this time. We'll see. I know every once in a while I get a comment like, Mark, you're always on, it's always 50-50. It's always one hand or another hand. Well, the thing is, there are a lot of times where in crypto, as in life, the information you have, the perspective, the feelings that you have around what's going on, they're not clear. There are a few times where you have that, where the data and just your gut and your instincts are crystal clear, and they all align. And it's clear as clear can be. And that's when we get to the market cycle peak and when we have opportunities to buy. And it's crystal clear. It's back tested, backdated. The data is, could it change? Yeah, of course, everything can change. You get a headache, doctor says, hey, take some aspirin, take some Tylenol. Something like 97, 98% of the time, that's going to take away your headache. Sometimes it doesn't. And the times that it doesn't, well, you got bigger things to worry about than a headache. So maybe it is different this time. But if it is different, we got bigger problems than that, because that means the data science models are all wrong. That means that the data that we have about how Bitcoins move and how that correlates to shifts in momentum, that's wrong. And all sorts of other information that we have that we've seen 12 years, the entirety of Bitcoin's history, it's all wrong. If this time is different. So just think about that. I'll have that update to you within the next day or two, probably tomorrow. Unless something comes up, I'll have it out to you probably tomorrow morning. Until then, relax and enjoy the ride.